Okay, let's roll right into our post-race for today's 23rd annual Aaron's 312. Our race winner, Elliott Sadler. He drives the number 11 One Main Financial Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's joined by his crew chief Chris Gale. Congratulations, Elliott. This is your 10th NASCAR Nationwide Series victory. And, couldn't come at a better time for you. Your first win at Talladega Superspeedway. You're really making I believe you're 1 point out now in the chase standings behind the point standings, behind Chase Elliott. And Chris Gale, I believe this is your first win as a crew chief.
Yes, it is.
So congratulations on this. It was just a very exciting race. And Elliott, just talk about it. You look like you were in control up there, the last few laps, that last caution, and just talk about how things unfolded for you to get this win here today.
Well, I think with this new rule that we have with the pushing and the bumping, track position is so important. So we felt like with the good qualifying effort yesterday, if we could just keep track position the whole day, we would be in good shape. And Chris made some great calls to 2 tire stops and things like that to keep us up front. And we fell back to 13th there at one run there at the very end because some guys did some gas onlys, and we were really worried about making it back up to the front. And we were able to do it. I'm going to be honest with you, during that red flag, sitting in turn 3, I've 20 scenarios through my head of how many times I've screwed up here in the past with a good race car and not being able to finish it off, blocking the wrong lane or going at the wrong time or going in the wrong lane. So I felt like leading the race. I had to protect the bottom. Felt really comfortable with David Reagan behind me because we all know what kind of draft and race car driver he is. And we're just able to make the right blocks at the right time. Brett Gifford did a heck of a job as my spotter, telling me what lanes were coming. And I hear you, brother. I got such a love-hate relationship with this racetrack. We always run good here, but I always doggone flip or wreck or hit hard or something. So every autograph session, everywhere I go now, everybody always reminds me of the flip I had in the back straightaway here a couple years ago. And now, damn it, maybe they can ask me about winning here. So it was good to get that under our hat today with such a fast race car, and it means a lot to me.
And Chris, just talk about what it's like to go to victory lane as a crew chief. Certainly, it's got to be a dream come true for you.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. We wanted to do this last year, and we went through a lot of times last year where we were just kind of getting on the same page. New team for Elliott, my first time being a crew chief, and we went through some struggles of just kind of communication and understanding each other, and that makes it that much more sweeter right now to go through that, to talk about it in the off season, sit down and commit to doing this again. And to be on the same page and come out early and get this win out of the way means a lot.
We'll take questions now for our race-winning team. We'll start up here with Jenna, and we'll move forward.
Jenna Fryer, congratulations, guys. Elliott, by the way, your flip was 11 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
Not a couple years ago.
I still feel young, Jenna. Come on, man.
You mentioned in Victory Lane the disappointment in not being able to get Joe Gibbs Racing a win last year. How heavy was that for you, and how much relief did just crossing that off come today?
Jenna, it's you've been in the sport a long time, and I know you're friends with a lot of drivers and know what's going on in the sport. When you come to a new place and you're running for such a respectable man and person and owner like Joe Gibbs Racing, and you're not able to give back to them and not go to victory lane and not really run for the championship as strong as you want to, man, it weighed on me heavy. Dude, I'm competitive as hell. I don't want to just ride around. I want to race and race for wins and run up front. And today, to be able to go to victory lane and him call me on the phone was amazing to me. That was it's a feeling that's really hard to put in words, but it just feels good. It feels like we put a lot of extra hard work in this winter into the race team and building new cars, and I've done a lot of extra work as far as myself, staying fit and being ready each and every week. And I got one of the best sponsors. I mean, they're so loyal to this sport. They've been in racing now over, I think, 13, 14 years. And Mary, the CEO, and her husband here, and they were able to go to victory lane for us for the first time today together. I mean, you can't put that in words. That just feels great as a driver to be able to do that. So, yes, it weighed heavy on me last year, and it hurts the way we ran last year. I ain't going to lie to you. It was a tough, long winter because of that. But, you know, we've run good here the last couple of weeks. I mean, we're really fast at Richmond, got spun out. We ran good. We ran really good at Darlington. Of course, we were fast as hell today. But it feels good to put it all together, Jen. It really does.
Go to Tom Jensen and then to Stan Creekmore. Raise your hand there, Tom. We'll get you the mic.
Hey, Elliott, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Congratulations. Great run for you. Does it feel that much better because the level of competition seems to be going up in this series with so many good young kids coming in and some of the Cup teams putting more muscle behind it?
It feels good to win anytime, and you know, our future is bright in this sport. Holy cow, we got a lot of great race car drivers coming up through, and you know what Chase has been doing is unbelievable. But I'm gonna tell you what, I drafted with Ryan Blaney a ton today. I actually thought of Brad Keselowski in the car a few times. He made some great moves, some good judgment calls, and made some good moves that veterans only see veterans do. So he's wise amongst his years, and we helped each other a lot today. And you know, I had to kind of leave him out there at the end, going for the win, and I hate that, but that's part of racing. And I would hope he would do the same thing, trying to get a win in a place like this too. But I earned a ton of respect for him. Well, he's already fast, and we all know that. But the way he raced today was amazing. So anytime you get a win against young, hungry drivers that want it, plus veterans, Regan Smith always runs good on restrictor plate racetracks. So to be able to get a win against some of those guys, I mean, it felt good. It really did.
Thank you.
Let's go up here to Stan.
I actually have two questions for you, Elliott. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. You've had a number of great wins in your career. Measure what today's victory means against others you've had in the past. And secondly, you told me in January that Chris Gale had grown so much as a crew chief that you knew that the championship was something you could really try to reach out to this year.
Yeah, he's really grown a lot as a crew chief, and our communications got so much better, and we're definitely just on the same page. And it helps, I think, staying together. Everybody, our whole team's the same. So we took what we learned last year, good and bad. For when we got to Daytona, we really had an idea of what we wanted to do moving forward. So I think that has a lot to do with how we've kind of gotten off to a fast start.
And in comparison of this victory to other
Comparison to this victory, man, I've been trying to win a doggone speedway race for a long time, and I've won a couple dual races in Daytona. I ain't gonna lie, I made one bad move, and I think it was, what year was it, 2009, when I lost the Daytona 500 on the last 10 seconds, and it started raining, and Matt Kenseth won. That move still haunts me to this day. But I got home and got to see my son being born the next day, so actually it worked out okay. But I feel like I've been close. I feel like I'm a pretty good restrictor plate driver. I feel like I got one of the best spotters in restrictor plate racing, and he deserves this win, you know, just as much or more than I do. So to put it all together and to kind of hold people off and do it the way we did it was it feels good. This win ranks up there because speedway race, everybody wants to win a speedway race, and so to be able to hold people off felt good there for those last couple laps.
Let's go back in the back there to Jay Busby, and then we'll go to Mike.
Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. Elliott, we talked yesterday, and you expressed a lot of frustration at Talladega. It's a crapshoot that your fate's in the hands of other drivers. You want to change your answer now and talk about how what an amazing driver you were to be able to get through all of that mess?
No, it's still a tough place to race. It's very frustrating because you feel like you can make all the right moves. We had made all the right moves all day and stayed up front, and you know, one little different pit call than everybody else, and you're like 12th or 13th. And then with the new rule, it's hard to really get lines going. You can kind of bump, but you can't really tandem and push, and you kind of get stagnant there. You really got to kind of do all your work on the restarts. So it's still a frustrating track. I mean, it's just restrictor plate racing. I mean, you heard it today with drivers, Cup drivers, just in qualifying, getting frustrated with their crew chiefs not in the right line and getting the right draft. And it's going to be like that all day tomorrow. It's a tough place that tests your patience. And for us to make some of the moves that we made, we had a lot of help at a lot part of the racetrack at the end. A lot of the race there at the end with the 22 and the 98, we had some great help there to help us get the position we were in. But man, I'm not going to change my answer. It's still a frustrating race, and it's tough. We were just able to come out on the right side of it today.
Go to Mike and then Bob.
Mike Neff, frontstretch.com. Elliott, yesterday you talked about the fact that they put you at the point for the Joe Gibbs team. They had you make the decisions to go up through the pack. How much does that help starting off your weekend with that confidence that you led the team to getting your guy on the pole and were the point man to bring everybody up through all those packs?
Yeah, well, I told you yesterday I wanted that responsibility. I feel like, me running for the championship, if anybody's going to take a chance, let me take the chance. And I don't think it was fair to put Sam or Darrell in that position for them to have to really take chances in qualifying. So, look, it all worked out. We all came out smelling like a rose. We were 1, 2, 3. And then today, we ran up front most of the day. I wanted to take 2 tires at first stop. My teammates wanted to take 4, but I feel like track position was really, really important here today. So I made that call, kind of overruled everybody to take 2 tires to keep track position. I know Darrell and those guys got involved in a little bit of a wreck, and I never got to see them that much anymore. But I wanted the responsibility to come down here because I had the most experience here to make decisions about qualifying and trying to get ourselves up front.
Go to Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News.
How's the weather for tomorrow, Bob?
It's good.
All right, good. 10-4, brother.
You're 1 point out of the lead, and
cool.
I think you're 2 points ahead of Regan for third. And where do you feel you sit, just as far as kind of how you feel in this championship hunt? Well, restrictor plate races, guys, is wild card racing. Coming into this weekend, mentally and with my spotter and all, we were just kind of like, we can't lose any more points to the championship. You can't wreck on lap 20 here and be 40 points out leaving Talladega. It's such a wild card race, and a lot of things happen is out of your control. So for us to be able to actually gain points on the people we're racing makes us feel good because we've run pretty good here the last month. And we're actually going to do a bunch of testing this week, and we got a lot of good things happening with our race team. We're staying pretty busy on our week off. So Bob, it feels good anytime you can go to a restrictor plate race and outrun the guys that you're racing for points because any little thing can happen here and really penalize you in the points.